And another anime episode to add to this week's cliffhangers of this anime season. Shu being alive. I did not see that coming, I want to be honest. I really did not see that coming. I mean, after what transpired in the Gourmet arc and, you know, the comparison review I did a couple days ago, and I got to see exactly the state of his body when it got pretty much hacked up, I didn't think he was alive. That was a really shocking revelation, seeing Gourmet just come into the fucking shop. I'm like, what? Just, yeah. I know I'm not the only one. I know for a fact I am not the only one that is shocked he is alive. I did not expect, of all people, to walk in, it would be him. Let alone how creepy and of a bastard he is. I mean, we know how strong he is, we know how creepy he is, and we know for a fact he's probably going to be like Hisoka 2.0. I already stated this. He is Hisoka 2.0. He is going to save, like his equivalent to Ghoul in this series. He's going to save, you know, Kaneki, because he wants to eat his flesh, his meat, and savor it. But the thing is, okay, with him being alive, it really changes the ball game. But there's still a big thing that shocked me in this episode. Aogiri Tree, that's exactly the new organization introduced in this episode. Now, Aogiri Tree, hopefully I'm saying the name right, pretty much took over the 11th ward by themselves. Single-handedly, they took over the entire ward and killed every single dove. That is very scary. When that was revealed at the beginning part of this episode, and you heard the background music just kicking up, I'm like, oh my god, how strong is this army, or this group, or this organization that took the 11th ward from the Dove, CCG. I was like, damn, dude, you know they must be freaking strong to be able to overthrow the CCG. So yeah, there's some serious shit on the roll in this episode, because now you have that entire backstory and build-up to Aogiri Tree, that, you know, how great and strong they are. For instance, I mean, for them to take a ward, it just shows you their power and how strong they are, and their ward potential. And then on the other opposite side of the spectrum, we see a lot of this kid, this creepy kid with these, like, weird, like, stitches all over his face and neck and stuff and arms. You see this creepy kid, I think his name's Juzo. You see that he's part of the investigators. He's a Dove investigator, as we can see, and he was that creepy kid last episode that, you know, was stealing from Kaneki and his wallet and stuff. So, my theory that he was the one-eyed ghoul pretty much just got crushed with that and thrown out the window and then put into a blender. That's exactly what happened when that was revealed this episode. But I saw something very intriguing in this episode. It could be a mistranslation error or whatever it was. But supposedly the one-eyed king is going to be participating in this War of the 11th Ward, because that's exactly what was said in this episode. I forget, it was like the middle half of the episode, you had them mention, like, the one-eyed king, Ghoul. So, that makes me instantly think, like, you know, it's the Ghoul, the one-eyed, that's really strong, and so, like, oh shit, things are about to go down. Most likely, Kaneki's going to be able to meet the one-eyed Ghoul, the other one-eyed Ghoul. But there's one scene specifically in this episode that really got me, and I'm like, oh my god. Was that scene where you see Jason grab Kaneki by the face and slamming him into the freaking, like, the bar side. Like, you just slamming him into the freaking tables, the walls, everything. I'm like, holy shit. It was so freaking horrific. I mean, that was disgusting. Like, I mean, I'm happy there was no censors. There probably was censors. I'm not gonna lie. I haven't read the manga. But just the way it was shown in the anime, the blood, like ketchup, went all over the fucking walls and tables and everywhere. I mean, it was crazy, and it was violent. And then the way you just see Kaneki, like, leaking blood as he was picked up by Jason, you see blood pouring off his body. I'm like, oh my god. And then the crazy thing about that is, Jason states in this is like, oh my god, he won't break, oh my god. I'm thinking, like, that dude is a sick person. I mean, he's literally taking enjoyment out of crushing someone's skull in and crushing their body in. And he says, they're not breaking! He's acting like Kaneki is a fucking toy. That is insane. That really just shows you what type of character Jason is to do that. And let alone, I mean, it shows you how strong Kaneki is if he can survive that many freaking hits to the face. I mean, seriously, I know for a fact I would have been unconscious and probably dead by how many times my face got probably hit into a table. I mean, he got hit into that table, God, at least 20 or more times. I feel bad for Kaneki. I mean, I bet he's in fucking pain. Major pain, because that looked terrible. And it shows you how strong Jason is. It really shows you how strong he is, too, and why Aogiri Tree was able to take the 11th ward. Now, here's the big question, okay? With this episode, you see, Ayato, you see, Toka's brother, pop up and they meet face to face, okay? You see them talking and stuff like that. But the big thing that, is brought up in this is that Ayato, hopefully I got his name correct, pretty much, he seems to be trying to find Rize, okay? But you have Jason that looks like he's part of a different organization trying to find Rize for his own means. I think there's something else going on here in the works of Aogiri Tree. I think, there's like different organizations or different head honchos. That's what I'm exactly thinking, because you have one end with Toka's brother, and then you have Jason on the other side. It makes me think like there may be two parties trying to come after, Rize or, Kaneki in this episode. The big question is, why do they need Kaneki? Because, if they really needed him as a war potential, you think they wouldn't have hurt him, okay? They wouldn't have kicked his ass. And then they found out he was the one-eyed ghoul in this episode, so I don't know exactly what they're going to think there. They most likely know how strong he is or whatever, and it might explain why Jason was beating the shit out of him. But, since he does smell like Rize, we find out, or we already technically knew that, Kaneki smells like Rize, you know that they're probably going to, key in on those factors that he's the one-eyed ghoul, Rize smell is coming off of him, he smells like a human, they're going to be able to understand what's going on, so it's just kind of, weird how they're, treating Kaneki like that, unless they want to use Rize as bait or something, I don't know. But, tell me your thoughts, truthfully, about this. I'm just curious how you all feel about Aogiri, being introduced. That was just... It was a good episode. It was a very good episode. The music definitely took an entirely different step up in its game. Versus the music was really good in this episode. And by far, out of all the episodes of the series, I think this had the best soundtrack in the background. For instance, it really complemented all those specific scenes in this episode a lot better than any other scene in the series. And I just love the setup and build-up and the tension in this. Now, I'm probably going to be doing a comparison review of this episode with the manga, because if you, stay tuned to my comparison reviews, I caught up to the end of the Gourmet arc, and I said, I was going to probably do a comparison reviews later on once the anime gets further on. I don't want to read past the anime, so I might read up to the point where this episode ends at, and I will do a comparison review between this episode and that chapter, how many chapters it was. So, expect that either today or tomorrow. I don't know when. Don't, count on it, instantly. So anyways, you have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.